Hi, Brennan Moriarty, social vaccine, uh, social entrepreneur to be. We got to make that happen. I hope you like the lighting. It's street lighting, parking lot. Anyways, I have this the global warming solution. Excuse me, a little phlegm there. This gasoline is coming out of my car, and so maybe it's making me a little crazy. I guess it's probably it. So, anyways, the global warming solution, one of the main points that I'm very fascinated about is transportation revolution, where that's bad. The gasoline fumes just killing me. So the transportation revolution is where we have autopilot, and we're not driving ourselves. Think about the big truck, the the bus driver, all these things. They're sort of like someone's got their hand on the lever, and they're just ready to to do what do follow their attitude, follow their reactions to the situations that they're in, and that's sort of like a security mentality that, oh, there could be some there could be some security issue, and it's that, you can predict that someone's going to come down a road at some point. It's like deer hunting, right? I mean, eventually you're going to have to cross that field or whatever, that path. So it's quite predictable. The unpredictable elements that need to be quantified there are sociological and general, as in general happiness. But the technological solution is where basically all cars are pretty much just exactly the same components used again and again, for decades, maybe even forever, because it's all about an ergonomic dimension, or dimensional ergonomics, where instead of everyone's car being unique in shape, it could be unique in color or content inside the vehicle. So that's like this software, policy, technology, hardware, where it all comes together. Okay, so now I want to go paint the picture of the actual transportation revolution. So imagine vehicles, they have a sort of autopilot, and they park themselves, so you don't have to park your car, you don't have to hang out at your car ever. It comes to you, and then you get into it when you're ready. None of this, dilly dally. You don't have to. You can. If you want to hang out, and know that sociology is taking care of those security elements. Those elements of dysfunction. So the sociology is the software, and the hardware, the technology, particularly with global warming, is okay. So the vehicles, it drives itself, and then they all connect into a little train. So they do this automatically. There's no bump. There's no sort of, oh, that person, I want to run that. I want to chase that. I want to chase this. No, you have a destination, and you do have a random button. It costs you like $1 or something like that to disconnect from the convoy at any time, just about any time, for security reasons. Because we're not there in the sociology, the societal community, all that sociology, logic, uh, policy, and technology. So they both have. The vehicle has software or policy that says, okay, it's only going to stop for enough time for you to get in, which is between 2 and 20 seconds, right, for someone who's disabled or something, or they're sick, or maybe they're drunk. Who knows? But you could put them in the vehicle. Kids got to go to school. They get in the vehicle. It's safe. There's not like drugs in there. You're not getting a ride from the neighbor who's doing drugs and stuff like that. Unless if that sociology would identify those people who are going to be there eventually, anyways, and connect those people to their destiny. Okay, we have to manifest that. All right. So that's software that does that, because we cannot simply leave it to ourselves, because we'll end up with chaos. We'll run amok, and you have, you might have fascism, and you might have immorality at the same kind of merging at an intersection, and that's like rationalization of accidents. So we have this software, hardware, policy, technology paradigm. Now the idea, okay, so I want to go into this technology thing on the actual transportation revolution. So transportation revolution and of a transformation of the humanity and civilization. So imagine vehicles. Okay, so they're all going to connect together, right? And they can have very narrow tires, quiet, peaceful, very lightweight vehicles. You could have some armor plating if that's what you feel like. Not that there isn't, in Iraq they have to have chimneys on their cars to protect them, because there's nothing that will stop those security issues that they faced over in the Middle East, right? In the war that is now over. It's now 2011 December. The war is over. Yippee! Okay, so imagine that the roads are paved once. They're paved nice, but not a lot of money's put into it. They're just made very smooth. And then there's two tracks. There's two basic concrete beads that are reinforced. Underneath this minimal concrete bead is rocks. Okay, so you dig these two little trenches. You have these two little strips. You have these two little strips of super smooth concrete, and they service essentially all vehicles. Heavy vehicles and your average personal vehicle, which let me go into that in a second. So you have these two little strips, and the vehicles are all traveling on there. It's just smooth as can be, and you have your monitoring robots, not so much personnel who are kind of like sensitive, but a vehicle who monitors for any sort of dangerous thing, because these things happen. We've heard about these things, So that's a sociological dividend to remove danger. But the technology, okay, and now on the vehicles. So these vehicles, they park themselves, and then when you're ready to go, when you're truly ready to go, you're done socializing, and hopefully sociologically you are in the community, in that geographic community at the right age. So what you have is these vehicles, they drive themselves in, and when you get in, it's actually one central door. So it's not, and it's made for basically all 99.9% of humans. Okay, so most people are under 7 feet tall. So if you're 6'11", you would not have any more discomfort than a person who is 5'2" to get in a vehicle. It would be just this one door, this ergonomic dimensionality. I don't want to. I'm trying to make an invention myself, so hopefully that'll come out as the ideal functionality and dimensionality, physical ergonomic dimensions. So you have this vehicle. The vehicle is going to be rather boxy, because it's going to be that single component. All your doors is going to be, the whole thing is going to be potentially doors, 4 posts, and then all the doors come off, because they're all the same. They all just go on with the simple pins, nice and quiet, and possibly very, very light. So you go into the vehicle, and there's actually 2 benches facing each other, and there's some possibility that they slide, so you could have someone who doesn't want to face the people who they're in the car with. That is a no-no. You need to be either side by side or face to face. Okay, otherwise you're in the wrong vehicle. If you can't handle that, talking, if you want to yell at your kids, face them. Don't look over your shoulder, or the backseat driver. No, there's going to be no driver. So everyone goes in through this one big door. It's like a double door, and there's 2 benches, and you sit down there, and theoretically you're not even going to need any kind of neither insurance nor seatbelts, because it's going to be autopilot. You're going to have a destination. The software is going to say, oh yeah, this person has this destination, and they're in the right vehicle with the right people, going to the right location correctly. So that's the vehicle that you have this paradigm. And so what this is going to do is going to take away anxiety. We're going to use software to simply say, okay, this is the destination and the purpose of where people are going, where individuals, each and every individual is going from whatever age that is. And so getting deep in this, because you'll hear about you think vehicles and industry, which is rampant, mass production of sometimes junk or unneeded stuff. Technology and the policy of identifying. Okay, so look at I don't know, look at poverty, look at prisons, look at a mental hospital, okay? Look at Skid Row, look at these places, and you see, what you see is people who are what is technically called, by all races, by all dignified people, they're called undesirables. So is that a rationality for an accident, for a collision, because someone is undesirable? No, what it is a rationality of technology and compassion that says no war, no waste of energy and pollution, people starting up their cars and you don't know who's there. No, you want to know who is there and what their value is, because just about everyone has some value. I mean, everyone has some sort of value. That's why people go to the pound and adopt a pet, because even though they may be, slow or I don't want to say useless, because that might give you the wrong rationality. But technology and general happiness, this is imperative that we identify, that we have the software to identify, and the technology of general happiness, general, like AL is algebraic, okay, and it says, okay, let's find out what we can do with these threads that come off of our logic, of whichever logic it is. You have your new world people who are surviving because they went to the new world. Maybe they escaped some sort of tyranny, but you also have threads of rationality, of undesirability. So there is compassionate technology, solid technology that's just going to make everyone's life great. Everyone having a purpose. And it's going to be great. It's going to save so many people. It's going to save the world, because the technology, now this is of general happiness, is very sensitive, because history, particularly in the last 100 years or so, has done a lot of crazy things. And I'm not talking about the combustion engine or even the gun, which has been around for 500 years. And the camera, yes, the camera and the combustion engine have really taken off in the last 100 years. And what they've done, they've shown a picture, a rationalization, and then they've said, okay, let's use the gun or something. Let's use subjectivity. Let's use ignorance of navigation and general happiness, okay, and rationalizing ethnic dislocation and poverty and general poverty. That's something that has a better purpose than to be sitting there unused, undesired. So it's imagine there's a war and millions of people die, right? Now let's say you are in a time machine. See, there you go. There's a nice concept, right? A time machine. Oh, TV tells you all about that, and, fiction. So let's say you go back there and you say, okay, this is this technology that we're gonna save all these people, and we're not gonna have any confusion, any rationalization through undesirable confusion. We're gonna use technology to save the most undesirable, to give them a purpose that does not pollute. So pollution is the thing of global warming. Okay, we're burning stuff and we're ignorant about it. We're just lighting it up and turning our backs. So general happiness, the PG easy, is it's just going to save the globe, and it's going to save humanity, and it's going to make everything better, and it's going to save everything. Okay, so it has to be this technology. You know, I go out in the air, and I kind of say that I'm like Jesus. Okay, I'm having a hell of a life, and I'm trying to get to heaven, right? And I'm trying to make heaven on earth. Yeah, and it's, you know, it's tongue in cheek, it's tooth and claw and all that, you know, but it's real. It's very real. I swear to God. Oh my God. Staying in the leg. I gotta duck because I'm too tall. It's like on the cross. Hey, this cross is too small. You know, bumping my head over here. Come on, God. So, yeah, you know, tears to laughter and a matter of fact. I love that poem. I love it. And I just saw the movie Happy Feet, and you know, the big fat one's wearing a rainbow sweater, and I go, oh God. But they always show you something disturbing before they show you the good stuff. That's how the media sells it, you know, that they don't want to just give you the good stuff until you prove your compassion of heart and your acceptance and basically your desperate failure, you know. So yeah, so this is the technology. I want to be the designer of the assembly, like the Steve Jobs, okay, except that this concept, Steve Jobs said the concept is very simple concept, and then the product has got like 100 buttons on there, and you're like, wait a second, how come the browser isn't up here, you know? My concept is a paradigm of that. The concept is rather complex because people think, oh, the vehicle's going to drive itself? What am I going to do, you know? Who can I fight, you know? So the concept is difficult, but the hardware is very simple. The software works for you. There are basically 3 buttons, if you will. 3 and 3 is 6, and that's sort of like honeycomb. Okay, so you want to be that in that soft cocoon of safety, and you know, sterile wax and beautiful honey, even antibiotic honey, you know. But you don't need those. You don't need those biologies. You are simply navigating by a sort of you know, the gasoline smell. I'm in my car, and the fumes are just, they're making me crazy. Okay. So yes. The components, and a lot of people, they want to make things as complicated as possible. It's like that accident intersection, that sort of, let's have something exciting, you know, let's arc the wires and make something funny and stupid, you know, let's get stupid, eh? So my design is going to be very complex. You're going to say, well, how can I get stupid? I'm going to, no, it's too complicated for you to get stupid with it, okay? It's too, if you can't concept that, then you got to press the button. There's 3 buttons, so you press the button. This is like a software thing, and you say, what kind of person am I? Am I like, what color am I? What creed am I? What, all of the societal elements. You identify those buttons, and then you're pressing the ones that you like. Say, I'm kind of left, center. I'm kind of right, center, right. You know, you press those buttons and it's like in the dark. This is the ultimate thing, okay? And so you have this paradigm where you can, if you simply come up with the most simple design, something that anyone can make, but that values humanity more than money and more than pollution, more than stupidity and greed and opportunity of ignorance. So we have to take away those opportunities and bring in a concept that goes over the dangerous person's head and yet carries them safely, carries everyone safely, and it's simply what group you're in. Okay, so this is gonna solve the world, and I gotta do it all by myself. That's there's Pastor Mike. I know he's gonna help me. I heard he has a chair and a palace. Scepter. E.T. phone home. That's my nickname from the way back. And so, anyways, on the genius type Nobel integrity, these two inventions, the hardware, the software, the sociology is the software, the engineering is the hardware, and technology is the hardware. I came up with them after geographic experience. So I grew up in California, which is like kind of as far away from everything as you can get, yet it is an epicenter of every, people come here from everywhere. They keep coming and coming and coming. And I actually grew up here, so I watched the whole thing. I drank the Kool-Aid when I was very young, like in my early teens. And so I had the sociology thing when I was about 28 or 29 in Ireland, and then it wasn't until I was just about, I might have been 30 or 31 when I had the engineering technology. So they say you have to have your inventions before you're 30, and this is like this two-part one. Is like I was traveling all over the place around 2000, 2001. Especially, the winter of 2000, 2001, I went to Australia, and I would have been 30. Yeah, I would have been 30 then. So there we go, eureka! I did it before I was, well, see, that was a loop year. See, I went down south, and so it was like an endless summer, and that's when I had this engineering epiphany. All right, I started to formulate the engineering conceptual need, and yeah, I'm sorry if my voice is a little rough here, because it's gasoline and so that's it. I'm gonna solve global warming, and apparently I got to do it all by myself because I'm nuts. Apparently, okay. My teeth. The dentist did this. See, my front teeth are just slightly crooked. This tooth right here was overbiting, and they said, "Oh, you gotta put a tongue depressor in that one," and it made the front ones, I believe, crooked because they're very tight teeth. Okay, not like Professor Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes, but he was a genius, and I see it all. I see it all. Okay, so the technology. Annette, advocating non-normative youth travel transplant. PG-easy, post-genetic evolution, social enhancement. And the 9 to 5, this was sort of the original engineering vehicular profile. And so basically this car, so you're always thinking, oh, what kind of engine does it have? Does it have like 1,000 horsepowers, Well, what's going to have? It's going to have a ceramic engine that's going to have a computer on it that's going to keep it from ever overheating. So you could have 4 people in there. That would be the standard. But if you're purely on the smooth track, those totally smooth roads, they're going to be the future. Those 2 concrete beams that the vehicles are all going to go on, you could have quite a bit of weight in them, and you could have two vehicles with one driver, so it'd be like having a truck. All your equipment's in one vehicle. Maybe it's got grease on it or stinky, so that's all contained, and you don't have to take it anywhere that you don't need to go. And so it's just going to be a one-wheel drive vehicle with those tiny little cylinders, and it's going to be some sort of magical transmission where you have the potential to carry a lot of weight even up a hill. It's going to go slow, but it's usually going to be in the convoy anyways, and at that point, if you're going over a mountain, like a big mountain, then you're just going to navigate the software of the humanity in the vehicle is going to who's going to what the destination, and that's going to be sort of, you're going to be in that convoy, and you're going to be able to say, well, I don't like that convoy, I'm going to press the center button or the left button or the right button, and that's how you're going to navigate fairly much. It's going to light up, so if there's a button that says, would you like to if there's a caution, one of those buttons will light up, and you simply hit it because you're anxiety or something like that. And then you could have food is the ultimate psychiatric medication. You eat, you're not happy, you're not crazy anymore, right? It's your stomach that, unless if you are generally PG easy, dangerous people, those people, no matter what they eat, they're not going to be happy, so there's technology to compassionately contain all these people, eliminate rationality of bad things, and at the same time make everything run smoothly, have ecological systems and ecological hardware, substrates, so everything can be cleaned very easily by a person, even a large person or a tall person. Hopefully there's not going to be any fat people in the future, because food is not to be abused, and nothing should be abused. And that's what the software is going to do. It's going to identify that if someone's just eating like Jabba the Hutt, you got to give them a rake and put them out in the forest and tell them to clean up that forest, because forest fires are just as bad as pollution. It's just a grim ignorance that has to be managed, and it can be managed. But politics and hype and history and propaganda, those are all going to confuse the reality. So that's it. Okay, what can I say? I'm going to come back and keep telling this. I'm only going to tell you 1,000,000 times, and I'm just hanging out here. Okay, so goodbye.